Good morning. So a month ago, when I thought about the title Basking in Beauty, I had a vision. And I kind of forgot about the vision. Like, what was that vision? And so, as I started writing today, earlier this week, I wanted us to look at this aspect of beauty. Is it an inside job, or is it an outside job, or is it both? So today, we're going to explore the wisdom of Sir Dr. David Hawkins for a while for our inside look at beauty. Hopefully, each of you got a piece of paper that had the attractor patterns on it. I should have maybe done this at home before I left, but I thought, I'll do it here to be so much easier. But the printer broke, or we ran out of fluid or something. Yeah, we ran out of toner. So if you can share those around, and then if anybody wants a copy of it, you just contact me or talk to me afterwards, and I'll be sure you get it. So this is a map of consciousness, and we're going to kind of play with this idea. So I was fortunate enough to discover Sir Dr. David Hawkins as I read his books quite a few years ago. And then I was able to study with him a bit before he passed away. When he was in his late 80s was when I was able to study with him at a conference at Unity Village. And he was still this bouncing bundle of energy and laughter and love and joy. He was a short man and just kind of like, somebody really magical. It just exuded from him, his joy. So much of Dr. Hawkins' life was working as a psychiatrist in Long Island, New York, where he treated many hundreds of patients. He also worked with Mother Teresa in India and other parts of the world, and I think this is why he was knighted by the Queen of England, because of the work that he did with the people with whom she was working. At a point in his life, he embraced the AA community. He realized maybe he was drinking a little too much. And as a psychiatrist, he was very impressed with the steps of the program and thought it was really something wonderful. A bit later, he also worked with A Course in Miracles. Some of us are familiar with that. And when he was early in his 80s, he pursued and obtained a PhD in quantum physics. And he did this because he had discovered information that his colleagues were prone to attack. And he just wanted to be sure that he had a knowledge base, and so that nobody was going to be able to say anything against him and have a lot of merit in that. I think that's an issue with a lot of people that kind of get outside the box, isn't it? A lot of people that have spent a lifetime learning and studying and sharing, and then they get attacked, and then maybe if they live long enough, they win the Nobel Prize for Peace or something. But that's part of our journey, maybe. Our journey of going at a level of what we want, maybe getting cut back, cut down, but rising above that. Dr. David developed a map of consciousness, which some of you have in front of you. This copy is from the book Power versus Force, which you can get on Audible or Hay House or many other places. What we have is in this early on, this map of consciousness, which I want you to look at. I'm a big picture person, and so when I saw this chart that I could just look at and understand really easily instead of having to read a whole book, I was there. I just love that. I could look at the chart and I could get all of my information. It was easy to understand. Now with this map, there are 12 possible levels of consciousness in which humans embrace. So a little hint here is the higher you go, the better it is that you employ higher levels of consciousness. So I want to look at starting at the very bottom. And the bottom is shame. That's where a person really has the lowest level of energy and consciousness. A person's God view might be despising, like God hates me. Their life view is miserable, and humiliating. If you look at the chart as a way of self-worth, shame is at the very bottom. Maybe some of you know people at this level. I think my mother was at that level, bless her little pea-picking heart. She did the best she could. The next level of consciousness is guilt. Guilt now takes some energy, enough to blame others, or to be destructive, or to strike out at others. Next coming up the list is apathy and then grief. Grief takes energy to feel despondent or regretful. And then the next is fear, and then desire. Fear is about withdrawal and anxiety, while desire embodies some energy for craving, but also enslavement. You're beginning to get an idea of where we show up as human beings, and maybe where we want to be. The next level, I think, is pretty interesting because it's anger. In the last, 7, 8, 9 years, starting before the Trump administration when things were heating up, there was a lot of people that were very angry and spoke out. But as I thought about that, part of that is the idea that many of the people that were in this level of consciousness might have been in a lower level right below that before and didn't feel like they had much to offer or didn't have a lot of money or just were in a state of not really being able to express themselves. And so getting up to anger might sound like a bad place, but really it's where you can just get out there and rant about and express what you feel and maybe hopefully work that through. Anger takes a lot of energy. So after anger, though, as you look at that scale, is courage. And courage is a tipping point at 200. According to Dr. Hawkins, we need to get as many people up above 200 as possible, above that level of consciousness. And we've always been, as a world, quite a bit below that. And we're just right at the tipping line. I guess it kind of went up to 201 a few years ago and then has kind of gone back. I haven't followed that recently. But our goal is to start to move all of us into higher levels of consciousness. Why? So we can start to transform our world and bring in more love into it. This magic number, then, is kind of like a doorway in our country and other countries in the world toward living, working, and loving in a more supportive world. So above 200 now, we're starting to get in these higher levels of consciousness where we have hope, willingness, reason, love, joy, peace, and at the very top, enlightenment. So I looked at this when I first started reading about it, and I thought, I want to lock into joy. I want to just lock into that level where everything that I see, I can feel kind of that excitement almost like a child. I can see the good in it, the happiness in it. And when something negative occurs, I can just kind of let that go. Or for me, I just turn it over. If I have something that's going on in my life and it's really rough, I might process it and wrangle it over a little bit. But at some early point, I try to say, here, God, my guides, my angels, whoever, take this area of love up here. Just take it. I'm going to go to sleep, and tomorrow morning when I wake up, I want to have a new perspective. And by golly, that usually works. Because I want to stay in this place of joy. I don't want to be upset. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to have these other emotions. And that I think, is when we start to be able to see beauty, that it comes from the inside. This is the question: is beauty an inside or an outside opportunity? I think it's both. I think when we are at a higher state of love or joy or many of these states, peace, then we really have a feeling inside that is like an attractor pattern. We are attracted to more things that keep us at that level of joy. We can be calmer, we can be more happy, we can have a bigger force in the world. I look at this community, and I'm so proud of being part of the Unitarian Church, because so many people in this community really work very, very, very hard to help other causes. The unmet needs, the housing situations, many, many others. You know, we are proactive. And I also appreciate that we accept one another. We might have to stretch a little bit and see something a little bit differently, like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not something that I usually, how I express myself. But that allows us to grow and learn and expand. So I think that most of us here, probably all of us, are in these levels where we are searching and searching for more inner beauty, able to see the outer beauty, and able to help make that possible and sustainable. So, back to beauty. Dr. David developed a, whoops, wrong page. So you and the flower then are one. You see its beauty more profoundly. So in this incident, which is it? An inside job or an outside job? Which is beauty? Maybe it's both. My goal is today to have us look at how we can embrace some of these levels on our life journey. And maybe we can do a little bit about that when we do our talk back session. One thing that I thought would be fun to do, Taylor's going to put a picture up here. Is it up there yet? Do you see that? Wow, it's pretty, isn't it? Well, I thought we might do a little guided imagery and you could go into the picture. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to walk up there and dive into the screen. No, 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 you can stay where you are. And if you have trouble, as I guide you and lead you, if you have trouble just imagining that you are standing there surrounded by the plants that are showing, if you have trouble getting there, then that's okay. You can just imagine it at a distance. You can just imagine that you're there. In the work I do with clients, I do a lot of times where I will take people to different states. And so that's what we're going to do. And so in a moment, I'm going to have you, and Steve will be down here, Stephen will be down here at the piano kind of going along with us too. It went so well with Jan and Stephen last week that I thought, oh, well, maybe we can rock this again and have some fun with it. So I'm going to have you just close your eyes now. And at this point in time, you're just going to imagine yourself in a moment going into that picture. And you're going to be right there, looking at the mountains, seeing all those flowers with so many different colors and aromas. And we're going to play with the senses a little bit as you go into that place. So when I snap my fingers, you are going to plop into right in the middle of that in some safe place. Now, look down at your feet. See what you have on your feet. Do you have shoes on? What kind of shoes are you wearing if you do? And just get yourself grounded a little bit. And now, ooh, what's it feel like there? Do you have any plants like tickling your elbow or right around you? How does it feel? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it windy? Wow, what's going on? Oh, and look at all the plants. I want you to take a moment to walk around and look at 7 different colors, like the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 colors of our chakras. I want you to first find red. If you feel like it, you can walk over there and sniff it. Wow, what does it smell like? If you think it's okay because it's just a guided imagery anyway, maybe you can taste it and touch it. And just kind of be one with that plant. Bask with it in beauty a little bit. And thank it for growing there. And now, let's walk over to another place. Oh, let's find an orange flower. Oh, wow. A different kind of flower, maybe all together. And do the same thing there. Touch it. Smell it. Feel it. Hear it. Maybe there's a wind blowing, a breeze. And just be one with the beauty of that orange flower, or maybe there's a patch of orange flowers all there together. It's a little family. And now let's go to yellow. Oh, maybe we can find some rudbeckias someplace here. Walk over. Again, smell all the smells that are around you. Hear what's going on. Are there birds? Are there bees buzzing around? Are there other kind of small critters? What do you have in this beautiful, safe space? Look at it. Kind of be one with it. Maybe thank it for growing. Oh, and the next color is green. Well, green is everywhere. Why is there so much green? Let's look at the green of the leaves and of the stems and just kind of feel the presence of greenness, which is really present a lot on our planet. Now let's go up to blue flowers. Oh, blue. We can combine blue and purple together because there's not many blue flowers, and purple ones are sometimes hard to find. So let's wander over there, step out boldly, and go a little further through that gorgeous patch. Find these flowers that are blue or purple. Again, sniff them. Thank them. Touch them. Feel them and just notice again what you hear. Do you hear a breeze blowing? And so now it's about time to leave. We're going to have to stop this basking in beauty. And maybe you want to take something with you. You can take a petal with you. You can take a memory with you as well. And if you want to, you can anchor that memory so you can easily go back to this meadow if you just touch your left or right earlobe, just on the bottom. And you just touch it a little bit, squeeze it a little bit, right as you look at the meadow and right at your highest state of awe and appreciation for its beauty. Just twist that ear a little bit and then let go. And then from now on, whenever you touch that ear, you can go back to that meadow. And hopefully it was a very positive experience. And so when you're ready now, you can open your eyes. So, how was that? Did you all get into the meadow? Who got into the meadow? What did it feel like? Did it feel nice in the meadow? Was it warm? Was it cold? Was it scary? Relaxing. Were you basking? Yeah. Peaceful. Yeah. Friendly? Fragment. Fragrance. Yeah. That's a nice little guided imagery that we can do on our own. We can go to places in the winter that we might not be able to go to. But going back to Hawkins and wrapping this all around together, is that I think as we look at our life as a journey to get to higher states of consciousness, then it's something that can kind of guide us along step by step. I think that's a lovely map, but even just to look at some of the stages where we want to go, just a little bit higher in our opportunity to reach out more, to become more, and exude more peace upon the planet. Thank you.